My first time ever going out of the country was my trip to China. I came across this quote beforehand and I just knew I was going to give this experience my all. The flight was long, but I knew that this experience was going to be totally worth it. We arrived at the airport and we had to find Wei and this white wall, and let me just say, it was an adventure. But regardless, we found Wei and he was a hilarious tour guide. He showed us around all of Beijing before we made it to Peking University, and I was just so awestruck by our lobby and how the people there treated us. It was a little bit of culture shock at first, the university, and I remember buying fruit at the stand and not being able to speak Chinese, but we definitely got used to it. The campus was beautiful, and I was overwhelmed, but in a good way, by the buildings. I thought they were beautiful and nothing like I'd ever seen before. Soon enough, we learned how to work the subway system, and it was challenging, but we made it to cool places like the dirt market, where they had different trinkets you could buy and barter with people, and the paintings were amazing. I am actually doing an independent study now with Wei about Chinese brush painting, and it's incredible. We went to so many museums and got to see how the students there design and what their architecture is truly about. It's incredible. However, my favorite part was walking around the Peking University path, the lake path. It was gorgeous. I spent so many hours there, but I remember the first day we sat underneath this pagoda and Wei had us draw it and sketch it and render it, and I just loved it. I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm spending so much time here. I took pictures almost every single second. I have over 5,000. So that night, actually, one of our first days there, he took us to this restaurant, super extravagant. These gals filed out, and little did we know that they were dancers. They spend their whole life preparing to become a professional dancer, and they were beautiful, so I had to get a picture with them. And they're super flexible too. I love seeing them dance, and little did we know that they were actually going to be performing for us for dinner that night. But before the dinner, Wei let us walk around this garden, and everything was so delicate, beautiful, flowers everywhere, and so serene. There's my roommate and I, just, we could not believe it, how beautiful everything was, the decorations, how much it applied to our major, and I just wanted to bring everything back to the US, including that lantern. I wanted to bring that back. Yes, we did eat flowers that night. I wish I could learn how to make those, as well as all the other Chinese food we had to eat there was delicious. I would spend hours just drawing around the lake, and also we got to venture around the city too, so it was the best of both worlds. We got to see the Olympic Village and tour several malls and museums, but also just truly appreciate the nature. Yeah, you never see anything like this in the United States. They were not afraid to use color at all. I was just super obsessed with sitting in the sun and drawing. I didn't feel like it was homework at all. I'd rather be doing this. I'd stay there day and night. Take strolls with friends and really just appreciate the nature and the beauty of it all. One of my favorite places we visited was the Summer Palace. It was just extremely gorgeous. I actually did my final paper on this, talking about the movement on the yin side of the palace, and we would climb up rocks, and I truly appreciated the movement, the beauty, and the display in preparation before you reach the other side, the yang side of the Summer Palace, where we sketched, and it was more serene, and there was not really more climbing, but it was a descending staircase. Next, we went to the wood-carved mansion, where there was this beautiful garden, and you would just really take in the nature and beauty feel. You felt like a stream connection with it all. Nothing like in the United States. Wei told us that each plant has its own energetic life, or qi, and so do buildings. So I really have been using that this semester in my practices and creating and like in my designs. I just will never forget all of my glorious times in China, Suzhou, Shanghai, and Beijing. It was amazing. Of course, the Great Wall will forever be in my memory. But China was truly an amazing experience I'll never forget.